some things you can do. We're going to learn about some things that you can do with your family when you're out in these public spaces to help protect and steward the land. All right. How does that sound? Good? I'm seeing lots of thumbs up and lots of hearts in the chat, which I think means we are ready to go. So I'm going to do a brief introduction to show you where I'm holding my talk show from this morning. So if you can see the background, it's quite bright out here. I am joining you from Tomales Bay State Park, which is in Tomales Bay and near the town of Point Reyes, California. My name is Kaylee Williams, and I am a state park interpreter with California State Parks, which means I get to hold these fun Zoom meetings with all of you and teach you about this beautiful park that I work in. And today we are going to have a wonderful talk show here about Tomales Bay, about pollution, and about getting rid of our trash responsibly. So first, let me tell you why it's so important. Why it's so important here in Tomales Bay that we are thinking about our impact on the land. Oh my gosh, friends, Tomales Bay is such a beautiful, special place. It is home to more than 20,000 different species. We're talking plants, animals, birds, all of the above. We have a wide range of creatures living in Tomales Bay, and they rely on Tomales Bay and the health of the ecosystems here to thrive. And what do we call that when we have a lot of different animals living in an area relying on the health of the environment? We call that biodiversity. We have so much biodiversity here. And I'm gonna bring up a map to show you a picture of where we're zooming in from today. Here's my share. All right, this is where we are located today. We are just above San Francisco. We are about a 40-minute drive from the city. So go ahead and put a thumbs up reaction in the chat if you have ever been to San Francisco. Flood the chat with thumbs ups if you have been to San Francisco. Oh my gosh, so many people. Great. So if you just head out on the highway about 40 minutes north, you will find yourself in Point Reyes Station. We are neighbors with the national park, Point Reyes National Seashore. They are our neighbors. And we stick out into the ocean, just like a little peninsula. And we are located on the other side of that inlet. So I'm going to stop sharing this one and bring up a more specific image for you. This is an image of the bay from a bird's eye view. So the bay is an inlet where we have salty Pacific Ocean water coming in, and we have fresh water from the mountains and the streams mixing in this bay, creating brackish water. And that also contributes to the biodiverse habitats that we have here in the bay. So if you're looking at this picture, you see on one side we have the forest, and then on the other side we have a grassland type habitat. And as you may know, different types of animals and plants prefer to live in those different ecosystems, meaning that it's very important to keep those ecosystems healthy, right? So here in Tomales Bay, the types of animals that you might see here would be an osprey. This is an osprey carrying a fish, maybe one that they just scooped up from Tomales Bay. So we have birds of prey here in Tomales Bay. I'm going to pull up another image. Oh, we have a coyote population here in Tomales Bay. Oh no, this coyote. What are they getting into? It looks like they're getting into trash. Oh, that's not good. I did not mean to share that one. Oh my gosh. We do not want to see that. And finally, have our raccoons. Oh my goodness. Where are they? They're in a trash can. I think we need to talk about the trash here in the bay. We're at that point. So we have all kinds of creatures here that live and rely on Tomales Bay's health. And it is very important that we spend time talking about how you can be a better steward in these public lands. And it's also very important to acknowledge the historic concept of this bay. The historic context of this bay, I mean. The original stewards of this bay are the Coast Miwok tribe. They have lived in the area for thousands of years and are the original stewards and the original leave no trace experts. We have them to thank for our beautiful, healthy ecosystems here in Tomales Bay and the thriving populations. And now, without further ado, I want to bring on our modern day expert in trash, all things trash, our very special guest, Cleaner California Coast.
Oh, hello, Kaylee. Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you? Happy Earth Day. We are Cleaner California Coast, and we're working to keep our coast clean and safe for people and wildlife. We're going to teach you how you can take care of nature by disposing of your trash properly, using a bathroom when you have to go, and always respecting our coastal communities. We're a part of Leave No Trace, an initiative working to teach people how to recreate responsibly outdoors.
Right. Well, thank you, Grace, for joining us today on this beautiful day and our beautiful talk show. I have a very hot topic to get to today, and I want to start by asking you, what is pollution and why is it a problem for Tomales Bay?
That is a great question, Kaylee. Pollution is trash, chemicals, or other harmful things that get into our air, water, or land, and it can make the land unsafe or dirty for people and wildlife. Tomales Bay is a place, like you mentioned, where many animals live and people like to play and recreate. And so it's important that we keep Tomales Bay clean so that everybody can enjoy it for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know about you, but I don't want to recreate in a dirty park. And so it sounds like trash gets into Tomales Bay, or let's rewind here. It sounds like the pollution problem in Tomales Bay can really harm our wildlife and our plants here. And I don't know about you, but I want to do everything in my power, especially on this Earth Day, to keep this bay looking pristine and healthy for all the animals and the humans who recreate here. So, can you tell us a little bit more about how trash can end up in Tomales Bay?
Absolutely. Trash can get into the bay in many different ways. First, wind can bring trash from streets and parks into the water. Rain can wash trash into our creeks, and even boats can leave fishing gear behind. Any trash that ends up in the water can hurt animals and ultimately make the bay very dirty.
Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. Oh, thank you. I've seen it firsthand here in Tomales Bay after our holiday weekends. Some of the trash that's left over, I have an image to share with you all. This was after Labor Day weekend last year. Look at our beach, friends. We do not like seeing all this trash on our beach, and I think that we can do better. I know that the trash left over on the holiday weekends is really overwhelming for our wildlife and our friends, the coyotes and the raccoons. They scavenge through it and create bad habits. They eat the food and they get really sick and they start to ignore their instincts of natural hunting and scavenging on their own in nature. And believe me, they have plenty of food in their local environments. They do not need our food either. And I know we've seen more seabirds having plastic in their stomach as well. And we don't want to see that. They are eating the plastics in the ocean thinking it is food. And we want to do everything we can. Thank you. We want to do everything we can to stop the trash from getting into our bay. But it's very important to note that even though we aren't the ones that litter, we're the ones who have to pick it up because it sounds like litter can get into our bay from all different locations. Remember that bird's eye video or image I just showed you? There's a bunch of mountains around here, and if there's trash in those mountains and it rains, it can wash down into our bay, not even by our own doing, just by elemental processes like rain and wind carrying that trash from long distances. So I have a question for all of you. I'm gonna pull up a poll here. Let's go ahead and stop sharing this screen. Bring it back. Okay. Where do you all think most plastic waste comes from? This is a multiple choice question. No right or wrong answers. Go ahead and answer in the poll. Where do you think most plastic waste comes from? Oh my gosh. You are all answering correct. I'm going to give you a few more seconds here, actually. I don't want to announce the answer just yet. Go ahead and answer that poll question. Where do you think most trash comes from? All right. Just a few more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. About 70% of our viewers answered that trash comes from all of the above. It comes from visitors, fishing boats, storm drains, all of the above. And you know what? You're all correct. You're correct, viewers. Great job. Thank you for participating in our poll. All right. Now, I have another poll for you. It's going to get exciting. Where or what do you think the most common trash item found on Tomales Bay beaches might be? Now, remember what Grace was saying about recreating responsibly and some of the trash that they see here in Tomales Bay. I launched the poll. Go ahead and answer. What do you think the most common trash item found on Tomales Bay beaches might be? It is also a multiple choice answer. We're going to give you about 45 seconds. Good answers so far. And the answers are coming in from our live viewers. Okay, about 10 more seconds. Go ahead and get those answers in. What do you think the most common trash item is? And we're going to go ahead and end that poll real quick. All right, so let's see. We've got some mixed answers here. We're going to go ahead and share the results with you all. Some mixed answers here. Well, Grace, you're the expert. Do you want to go ahead and tell us what the most common trash item might be?
Absolutely. So many people are correct. The number one trash item is food containers, and that means wrappers, to-go containers, water bottles, anything that has to do with food. The next is cigarette butts, unfortunately, which are very toxic to the environment. And lastly, our drinkware. Cups, lids, straws, glass, plastic water bottles, anything that you need a drink out of. Every piece of trash left behind creates harm for wildlife and people. But there's definitely steps we can do to minimize our impacts.
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to ask you, so a lot of those items that you mentioned, they're plastic. And does plastic decompose in the ocean, Grace?
Oh, great question. While natural items do decompose, plastic isn't natural, and instead it goes through a different process called photodegradation. Photodegradation is when the sun makes the plastic brittle and then breaks it into smaller pieces, something called microplastics. Have you heard of those before, Kaylee?
Absolutely. Microplastics, from what I know of them, they're super harmful. We even have microplastics in us because of the food we eat and the water we drink. Everything that eats microplastics the plastic ends up in their system, which ends up in us.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's so sad to think about the animals seeing plastic and thinking that it's food.
Absolutely. I don't know. This is really inspiring me, and I work in the park. I do clean up the litter, but this is inspiring me to do even more. Well, okay. I know we've talked about lots of trash. We've talked lots of trash about trash. And the good news is that we're going to start talking about the ways that you can help be a responsible recreator here in our state parks, because there is a lot we can do. And as Grace is going to tell us, it doesn't have to be that hard. It can be a simple task that you can do every single time you visit. And every small, woo, it's a little windy out here. Every small action helps. So let's go ahead. I'm going to hand over the mic to Grace here so she can tell us about those leave no trace principles.
Absolutely. And I think we need to get some slides up as well.
Yes. Let me share those for you.
Is everybody having a good Earth Day so far as we get these slides up?
Oh, not that.
I know I'm having a good Earth Day. I just feel so grateful to be out here on Tomales Bay, enjoying this beautiful weather. We even saw a kayaker out here earlier this morning.
We did. We did. It looked like they were having such a great time. They were taking photos of our wildlife. Okay. There we go.
Thank you, Haley. So let's hop into our principles. First, know before you go. When you bring foods and liquids in reusable containers, you're able to minimize the plastic waste on the coast. Avoid single-use plastics and styrofoam. Plan your trip to include restroom stops. Next. And our next slide is, oh no, to trash your trash. Always use trash cans for litter items when available. If trash cans are unavailable or overflowing, make sure you pack out all of your trash. Fishing gear and cigarette butts should also be disposed of in the most appropriate receptacle. And give back. Pick up additional litter and recycle when possible. Our third principle is what to do with poop. We all poop. But it's important to use public restrooms and not trails or beaches, and to dispose of diapers in available trash cans or pack them out and take them home with you. And lastly, we love bringing our dogs out with us, but we have to pick up their waste and put them in bags and place them into the available trash cans.
Yes.
And lastly, be considerate of coastal communities. We're so lucky to be exploring coastal communities along California. By reducing the trash burden in the communities, or you can reduce the trash burden in the communities by disposing of your waste, using public restrooms to keep our drinking water sources clean, and being considerate of others that we're sharing the outdoor spaces with.
Right.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Wow, Grace, those are great points. Thank you so much for telling our audience some easy ways that they can be better stewards here in our public lands. Now we're getting to the point in our presentation where we are going to play a little game. But first, I have one more question for you because this is really important and I don't think we talk about it enough. Natural food items, quote unquote, like an orange peel or an oyster shell. If I am here recreating in Tomales Bay, like most of our visitors do, they like to come out and picnic here at the beach. Who doesn't? I mean, look at this view. Look at that view. People want to sit here and eat their lunch and hang out with their families and barbecue. Now, if I go to the store and I buy a bag of oysters and I finish my oysters, can I leave those oyster shells on the beach when I'm done? Since they're natural, right? They're going to biodegrade, which means they're going to break down naturally in the environment. Can I put those oyster shells on the beach? We are by the bay.
That's a great question. And you would think that because they're natural, you could just leave them on the coast because they're part of the ecosystem, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, no.
Ah,
We can't leave our trash, including oyster shells, orange peels, apple cores. They're all litter, and oyster shells in particular. If people step on them, it can hurt their feet. And when they get into the bay, it can disrupt the ecosystems, which impact the animals, unfortunately.
oh my gosh, that's such a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So that means, yeah, I can't just leave my sandwich out here on the beach. Our coyote friends would eat the sandwich too. Oh my gosh. So it's very important that when you have your food items from your pack or your picnic, you make sure you pick up all your food scraps, including the ones that seem natural and can biodegrade, because if it doesn't grow here or live here, it doesn't belong here. All right. So like we talked about, we're going to go ahead and get into our live audience game. With our talk show, we thought it would be a really fun idea to throw in a little bit of an interactive element here for you. So we are going to play a game called Trash or Treasure. And just like our polls, we're going to require or ask you to select which item you believe is trash or treasure. And Grace and I have collected a few items from the beach here and from our office and even from the trash itself to play this game. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll and we'll get started with the first item. Okay.
I'm so excited for this game.
Me too. It's so much fun. You guys are going to love it. Okay. Are you ready with the first item, Grace?
Ready.
All right, friends. Is this trash or treasure?
Pine cone.
It's a pine cone. What do we think? Trash or treasure? We're going to give you 5 more seconds here. Trash or treasure? Or actually, we'll give you about 10 more seconds here. Trash or treasure?
There's some spider webs in the pine cone.
Oh, yeah.
It came off a pine tree, I think. But you found it on the ground, right?
I did find it on the ground. Yes, here in our park. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and share those poll results here. Let's see. 92% of our live viewers answered it is a treasure. You're exactly right, friends. It is natural. Pine trees do grow here. Remember that bird's eye view? We saw the forested side of our bay. It is a treasure. Treasure means something that does belong here on the beach. I definitely want to clarify that. Treasure is, or maybe it belongs to someone, so it's kind of like a lost and found item, maybe. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the poll results there.
You guys are all so smart.
So smart.
All right. Next one.
All right. You ready, Grace?
Ready?
Trash or treasure? We have a Krispy Kreme hat. Trash or treasure, friends? Oh my gosh, the results are coming in. They're flooding in from our live audience. That was so quick.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are pros. Trash or treasure, our Krispy Kreme hat. We're going to go ahead and give you 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and get those answers in. Going to end the poll. 93% are correct. It is trash. Great job. Okay. We have another item here.
Parking ticket?
The parking ticket. I get one of those if you don't pay your day use here in state parks. Is that a trash or a treasure item, friends? Oh, the results are coming in so fast. Great job. It is. We've got a few more seconds here. 10 more seconds. Get those answers in if you haven't answered already.
It's expired. Does that mean anything?
All right, let's go ahead and stop the poll here. Well, let's share it.
Let's see.
93% of you are correct. It is trash.
Very
Hopefully
good.
after you've paid your parking ticket.
All right.
Okay.
Next
We have one more item here. Or 2 more items, I mean. So if it's hard to see this one, it is a piece of rock with some barnacles on it. We might have even found that one here on the beach right behind us. It is a rock with some barnacles on it. Do we think that's trash or treasure? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh my gosh, this one was a knockout.
Oh my goodness.
100% of you all answered correctly. It is treasure. It does belong here on the beach. And we actually love seeing rocks out here. It means erosion is happening, but our bay and our sand is still functioning as it should. Do we have two more or one more for the audience? One more for the audience. Okay, everyone.
You're all so smart, 100% on that last one.
I'm going to relaunch here. What is this, Grace?
Is it trail mix?
Trail mix. So we got some food items in a plastic bag. This one might be a little tricky. Is it trash or treasure?
My snack later.
Trash or treasure? It might be a little tricky. Okay, we've got about 10 more seconds
This
here.
is a hard one.
Yeah.
Hard one.
This one is challenging. Okay. Great job. I'm gonna go ahead and end that poll now. Share the results with you all to see. Okay, so about 79% answered trash and about 21% answered treasure. Now, do you want to answer this one, Grace? This one's a little tricky.
It is tricky. It's probably trash for you, but it's a treasure for me because it's my snack.
Yeah.
It shouldn't belong on the beach. So I'm definitely going to make sure I bring everything home with me after.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a great answer and a great game. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this and come back to the main screen. Thank you all so much for participating in our game. I hope you had fun with our little interactive element here on our live talk show from Tomales Bay. All right, friends. Now that we have learned a little bit more about how we can be responsible recreators to our public lands, and we've learned what some of the most common trash items might be, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. I know most of you, actually, I'm going to give you about a minute. 30 seconds might be a little too quick. Let's go ahead and think, pair, share for a minute. So you can quietly turn to your neighbor in your classroom, or if you're at home watching, maybe you can turn to a family member and start to brainstorm some of the ways that you can practice leave no trace in our public lands. And when you have come up with your answer, go ahead and put it in the chat. Grace and I can see your answers here, and we're curious, what are some of the ways that you are going to practice leave no trace in our natural lands?
Good answers.
Don't litter.
Pick it up. Exactly. I got some silly answers. Eat the trash.
Oh, definitely don't want
know.
to eat the trash. Throw my trash away, trash in can. Pick up after ourselves. Don't be lazy and don't be a litter bug. Absolutely.
Very good.
Don't use plastic. Oh my gosh, that's a great one.
That is a great one. Clean up when you're done. Perfect. Great answers.
Don't be a litter bug. Use reusable supplies.
That's a good one too.
Yes. I have trash in my backpack from the beach. I picked it up. Thank you so much for being a steward of our public lands. Great job.
Use reusable water bottles.
Oh, yeah. You guys are great.
Very good.
All right. Well, I believe you have some more to share with us, Grace.
If we want to pull up the next slides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you everybody for your answers. I feel like you know what to do now. Now when you head out to the coast, you know exactly what to do. And it's important because are we sharing?
We are not sharing yet. In a second.
Now you know what to do, and it's important because you are empowered to make a difference when you come out to the coast. We need you on our team. Here are just some tips that now you know, but your parents may not know. But it's your job to help them. So the next time you go to the beach, we will plan ahead. We're going to check where the restrooms are and the trash bins, where they're located, so that we're prepared. We're going to pack a bag to take our trash home. It's very simple, but it helps keeps the shore clean for everybody. Next, we're going to keep it clean, see a restroom, use a restroom. That was supposed to be a gif of the skippity toilet, but it's not working. And we're going to help protect the environment by always using designated bathrooms. Next, we're going to pack smart by bringing reusable bottles, lunchboxes, and utensils to cut down on waste. If you see the image on the right, you'll see some examples of cutlery and cups and a bag you can bring out. And if you're feeling competitive, you can challenge your friends to pack a zero-waste lunch and see who can do it best. Next, you're going to be a sorting pro. Know what belongs in which trash can, recycling, and compost bin. And remember, fishing lines and pet waste, they never belong on the beach. And then we're going to take action. You can commit to picking up at least 3 pieces of litter every time you head out. And if the trash bins are full, take your garbage home with you. Don't pile it on top. Protect nature, stay on designated trails, respect wildlife, and learn how litter impacts our environment. Respect your mother.
Absolutely.
Mother Earth.
Especially on our Earth Day, right? Maybe you have some time after school today and you can go through your neighborhood and pick up any pieces of trash you find in your neighborhood. Or maybe you have time to get out to a park. Maybe you can spend some time out there as well. Spend time with your public and open spaces.
Perfect. Now we can work together to keep our beaches and hikes clean and safe for everybody. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely.
We need you on our team.
Yes, we do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and bring it back to the main room here for our last few minutes. We're getting ready to wrap up our talk show, which I've had so much fun doing this talk show with you, Grace, and I hope that we can do this every Earth Day.
Definitely.
I want to thank you all for tuning in to our PORTScast this morning. Hopefully you've all been inspired to keep your public spaces clean and free of trash, but also to start maybe practicing some of these ways that you can leave no trace. Some of these options that Grace has talked about are really, really easy, and they don't require a lot of effort. And every single time you go out into your public spaces, it makes an impact when you can be a responsible recreator and pick up a piece of trash. We are both very involved in stewarding our public lands, and we just want to thank you all for taking this time with us this morning to talk about how you all can be better stewards on this Earth Day. Now, we are going to stick around for the next few minutes here to answer any questions. We have time for a few. We'll go through the chat and see what we've got. If you're heading out, I just want you to remember to keep our beaches clean, leave no trace, and we'll see you next time on Let's Talk Trash.
Thank you.
We'll be here for a few minutes if you have questions.
When did Earth Day start? That's a great question. I want to say it started in the early 70s. Actually started in San Francisco, as far as I remember.
Yeah. There was a big environmentalism movement in the 60s and 70s.
And it actually was working with a lot of youth that helped get Earth Day started to begin with.
Yeah. What animals are there in the beach? So Tomales Bay has so many different animals that live here. In our bay, you can expect to find animals like seals and fish like herring. We have bat rays here and leopard sharks and all kinds of marine creatures. How many animals are there? We know that there are over 20,000 species that live here in Tomales Bay.
Wow, that's a lot.
Plants, animals, fish, birds. Great questions. How is plastic made? Ooh, that's a challenging one. Do you know about that?
Plastic is made from something called fossil fuels, which are extracted from our Earth. and then they go through a number of different processes to turn it into a hard plastic. But by drilling in our earth, that's not too good for the environment. It can cause a number of different issues, as well as pollute our environment with many different types of greenhouse gases.
Yeah. Great questions. Have you personally seen any animals eating trash? I have. Yes. Just last summer, we had a family who was barbecuing out here at the beach. They left their barbecued chicken in their backpack.
Oh no.
And the coyote, we have a coyote who hangs out here in Tomales Bay around the day use area. He went and snagged the backpack off of the picnic table that had the chicken in it, and he was eating the chicken.
Oh my gosh.
Now, chicken's not necessarily trash for humans, but it is for the coyote because it does not, the chicken did not come from Tomales Bay State Park and it does not live here. So the coyote was probably very sick to his stomach after he ate that chicken. Where is the beach you are on? We are zooming in from Tomales Bay State Park today. Do people pick up trash at the bay?
I would hope so. That's what we can all do to be better stewards of the land.
Well, with Cleaner California Coast, they have litter pickup days.
That's true. We do have beach cleanups.
Yeah. And you can learn more about those by going to cleanercaliforniacoast.org, right?
Cleanercoast.org.
Cleaner Coast.
We have many cleanups on our website, but I'm sure there's tons of cleanups in your area too if you're not in the local Point Reyes area.
Okay. How long have you been protecting this beach? Great question. So Tomales Bay State Park was founded in 1952. So we actually last year just celebrated pretty big milestone for us. We've been protecting it for many decades. But our founding date is November 8th, 1952. All right.
That's almost 70 years.
Almost 70 years.
Or even more.
Yeah.
Have I ever dropped trash myself? I've definitely dropped trash, but when I see that I've dropped the trash, I always pick it back up. And I don't just let it blow away in the wind.
Right. Okay, great questions, everyone. I think that just about wraps up our time here. I just want to thank you all for joining our PORTScast live talk show here on Earth Day. I hope you all go out and celebrate and do something to help your Earth today. No matter if that impact is big or small, you're making a difference and helping keep our coastlines and our public spaces free from trash. So hopefully we'll see you again next year on Earth Day for another episode of Let's Talk Trash.
Thanks for having me, Kaylee.
Anytime. Thank you, everyone. Bye.